What's going on, folks? This is Steve Tucker. We are here with Race Day Live for the ASRA Cup Series Babyface Fabrication 250 here at Martinsville Speedway. It is the penultimate race for the Cup Series playoffs, and today at the Paperclip, it's going to be an incredible race today, as it always will be. Big crowd today, big field of cars, and man, we're going to crown a champion here next week. But first, the 0.5 mile track. This is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of chaos, most likely. Cautions perhaps, but hey, above all, a great time. Right now, we're going to jump down trackside for qualifying. About halfway through, let's go and check it out. Right now, Kenyon Reel on track, looking pretty good. Top of the boards right here is Nick Lights in the number 12 for the 19.08. A lot of drivers still to go here for qualifying, so we'll definitely see them rattle off their laps here momentarily. But Martinsville, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Half-mile track, tight conditions, but nighttime. So nighttime conditions going to be a lot of fun under the lights here. 250 laps are scheduled. Stages 1 and will be at lap 50. Stage 2 at lap 100. So honestly, pretty quick. Lap 50 in general is a pretty fast time to get around here. So these laps are about 19 seconds here. So lap 50 will come very, very fast. But right now it is qualifying. But again, the championship playoffs is getting tight. Brandon 6, Devin Smarker are both already locked in. So keep that in mind. The 26 and the 66 cars. But right here, Roger Pierce looking very, very good. Had an incredible Las Vegas last week. Right now, he's plus 10 in the championship standings. So really just needs to have kind of a decent race today. Doesn't need to have anything crazy. But a good race nonetheless will find himself into that championship 4. But Roger Pierce right there, the 1921, looking very, very good. Matt Smith with the 1927. So a lot of fast times right here. Frankie Barroso now on track. Warming up those tires. He's going to come down here and qualify as well. Or not. Or just come off the track. We've seen him do this on his qualifying laps a few times, so definitely a few tricks up his sleeve. Maybe warms the tires up and then goes back out. Might be a little bit of some sorcery right there, as they like to say, but we'll see him perform these 2 laps right now. But Frankie Barroso comes into this 7 points to the good, so pretty decent. And right now it was pretty fast in practice, so we'll see him again. Just needs to have a solid race. But a couple guys, Matthew Fleming, DJ Honeycutt, a lot of those guys are trying to get themselves into that championship 4. Those guys are 7 points down at a minimum, so expect them to definitely do what they can. Joseph Mealy, here he is, right here as well. Comes in at a deficit, 11 points underneath that cutoff line, so Joseph needs a big day today. Him and Matthew Smith need big, big days. Stage wins, maybe even the race win himself. But Devin Smarker, here he is. Loosey-goosey in that 26 All Things Go podcast and Babyface Fabrication on the hood. Looking pretty good. His teammate Jimmy Graham following up right here in P2. Or P6, excuse me. Number 62. So far, pretty good. Folks, we are... you get just me today. Emery is actually out for the night. Has some things going on, so it's all good. We're gonna fly solo tonight. Hope you guys are cool with that. But hey, next week the championship race, he will be here, and we're gonna have a hell of a time. Big old party in Charlotte next week for the ASRA Cup Championship, the Battle Beaver Championship. Excuse me. Gonna be a great time. Right now, Jonathan Wright on track. Gonna come across and do his laps. Joseph Mealy, by the way, in P4, brings it down to the garage. That's it for him. Love that here. Kenyon Reel still on track. I feel like we've been watching him practice qualifying for the last 20 minutes. So, hey, you know what? Not a bad idea. Come down, not to get a lot of time. Use qualifying as your practice. So, hey, all the power to him. Julio Villalobos coming down. That's 78. Comes down to qualify. Setting himself up right there for a good lap. We'll see what he gets. But Brandon 6 right to the front with a 19.02. Very, very fast for him. Again, him and Smirker right behind him right now in P2 are already locked in to the championship. So these guys are really just kind of out here for trophies. Looking very, very good. Checkered flag is out. Brandon 6 gets the pole at the very last second with a 19.02. Awesome job right there. That's going to be your field, folks. We're going to go through the field in just a moment. Give these guys just 1 second to load up their cars and get onto the track. But folks, we appreciate you for being here. Again, second to last race at Martinsville. A lot of fun. Big field. 24 cars, actually. So definitely surprising. Pretty cool to see all the support we're getting here and how this league is shaping up. So a great, great time. After this race, again, next week at Charlotte. But after Charlotte, hey, you're not going to see Race Day Live for until the new year, 2024. So we'll have a lot of stuff going on then. But hey, we appreciate you for subscribing and for liking the channel. It definitely helps us quite a bit. So thank you for that. Right now, though, let's get through the field. Here we go. Brandon 6 not on the track just yet, so we can't show you his car. But hey, Devin Smirker in P2 looking very, very fast. Nick Lights rolls off P3. Brandon Bowie rolling off in 4th place. Good job there. Joseph Mealy in P5. Awesome job. Roger Pierce needs a good day today. Nice solid day. P6 for him. Jamie Graham, solid P7 starting job right there. Frankie Barroso was fastest in practice. Didn't quite get the qualifying lap he wanted. Either way, though, finds himself right now in P8. Matthew Smith in P9. Looking pretty solid. Tyler Honeycutt rounding off in 10th place. DJ Honeycutt, P11. DJ needs a pretty big day today. Needs a lot of points to get himself into that championship 4. Rob Song, P12. Matthew Fleming, same thing. Again, needs a big day today. Not a huge, huge day. Just needs to do better than Frankie Barroso and Roger Pierce, and he might find himself going to Charlotte in that championship 4. Jonathan Wright rolling out 15th place. Donnie Honeycutt right there following next to him. Kenny Real in 16th place. Michael Lanfear P17. Scott Casorn rolls off 18th place. Julio Villalobos rolls off 19th. Josh Larson 20th place. James Kaufman 21st. Richard Woodruff in P22, and then Brandon Davis rolls out the field sort of as race control. So awesome field today. Hey, Martinsville with plus 20 cars, more than 20 cars. I'll tell you what, get ready for a wild roller coaster ride today. Pace car lights already off the track. We are going green next time by, being led by Brandon 6 and Devin Smirker. This front row, they're locked into the championship 4 next week at Charlotte. But everyone else behind, what can they do? Folks, on the left side of your screen, watch out for the drivers in red. They are the championship 8 drivers who are eligible to get themselves into next week. Brandon 6, Devin Smirker already locked in, but everybody else, the other 6 drivers in red, they have to fight their way into that Charlotte race. Some in better shape than others, but not all of them. Pace car is off. Brandon 6 leads the field right here. We're going back green. Babyface Fabrication 250. We are underway in green. Already a great job. These hard braking tracks are very difficult for these drivers. Different braking zones, different acceleration points. We'll see how they can deal with that, but right now it's lap 2. Lap 50 right now is the mark. That will be the stage 1 conclusion. Brandon 6 already out to an early lead. Single file already, folks. Not a lot of drivers too wide at this point. Throughout the field, we are already solo. Matthew Smith falling down pretty hard. Yellow flag is out already. Matthew Smith get spun around a championship contender. Oh no. On lap 4. Yellow flag is out. Luckily the car looks like it's actually in pretty good shape, so I don't see any damage per se, but let's go back and take a look here at Matthew Smith. Yeah, it just kind of goes around. Not the end of the world, but first caution on lap 4 out of 250. So Matt Smith goes around. It's hard on these exits. It's very easy to just put too much wheel and too much throttle into it at the same time, and that right there would have been a classic example of that. Either way, lap 5, we'll go back in here pretty quick. Brandon 6 is still your leader. Well, right now on lap 6, pace car lights are still on, so let's go and thank our channel sponsors real quick, and we'll come right back, folks. Alrighty, big thanks to Admin Box and HarpoonDesign.com. Go and check them out, folks. Those guys are definitely helpful, especially Admin Box for race control needs, but especially Harpoon Design for all the fantastic paint jobs they do. Go and check them out, fill out a form, and Brantley will get back to you shortly. Right now, lap 8 out of 250. Pace car is going by, but right now, look at this, the Brandon Davis, our race control. Hey, here's the choose car. This can be pretty important. The low line obviously is pretty dominant here. But man, if you can squeeze out some spots by gaining or going to the top, that might be the play for a lot of these guys, right? Maybe sneak your way down into that low line. This could be huge though for a lot of these guys later on in the race. The choose rule in general is one of those things that it kind of gets looked past upon, right? But it's what they do in the real life. It's what can determine, you know, lanes, especially like, you know, super speedway races. It's very, very cool. Either way, lap 9, we're gonna go back to on lap 10. And Brandon 6 will lead us off. Nick Lights is in P2 right now on the outside lane. Always a good time here at Martinsville at the ASRA Cup Series. And here we go. I'll tell you what, this is a place I've always wanted to check off my bucket list, man. It's just a fun place. I've got family actually in the area of Martinsville, but I've never been down there myself, so one day we'll get down here for sure. This was the site of Jeff Gordon's last win, and obviously that big drama-filled race with Kenseth taking out Logano, so that race was definitely huge for me as a Gordon fan. But right now, Brandon 6, this might be his race. As it comes down to the green, we're going to go back. Green flag racing here for the Babyface Fabrication 250, and off we go. Awesome job so far. Brandon 6 leads us. Further on in the pack, still 2 wide right now. Tyler Honeycutt and DJ Honeycutt, brothers right here, side by side. Having a great run right here, too. Again, more teammates here. Robert Song, Jonathan Wright. Back to back here. John Wright makes the outside lane work. Doing a great job thus far. Matthew Smith, again, he's the one who just wrecked a second ago. 21st place right now, has to work his way back up to the field. Will be a hard one for sure, but up front still, nothing's changing really. Brandon Bowie trying to track down Nick Lights right here for P3. Work his way into those podium spots, but look at this though, Joseph Mealy in P5. This is big news for him. If he can stay kind of in this top 5 era, this is huge for his playoff hopes. Playoff points and stage points especially are massive, especially in this format. So far looking pretty good. It's right on board actually, DJ Honeycutt. Get a good idea of how these drivers are getting around this track. It's not easy, folks. Looking very good right now. TJ Honeycutt currently in P9. Not quite going to be what it takes to get himself into that championship 4. I'm thinking DJ might need a stage win here, maybe a couple stage wins to get himself into that next round. But either way, cannot count out him in this race. Always finds himself in a good spot later in these races. And right now, P9's on the bad spot. Jamie Graham gets loose right here at turn 4. Frankie Barroso and Roger Pierce might get around him right now. Frankie way out of the groove right here. Big moment there for that 48 Bowie Esports machine. Oh, Frankie Barroso right behind Roger Pierce. These two drivers right now are in the championship 4 as we speak, but they have to have good races to get themselves cemented into that next race at Charlotte next week. And right now, Frankie's struggling a little bit, but Roger Pierce seems like he's found something. He's got great rotation in that middle corner. DJ Honeycutt gets loose right there too. Tough conditions here today, but Devin Smerker in P2. Caution flag is already out. And right now, Richard Woodruff actually has a mistake right here coming out of turn 4, I believe. So he is right there. Michael Lanfear might have been involved. James Coffin potentially was involved. Oh, definitely. We see some front end damage right there for his car. Not terrible, but definitely enough to affect the aero of that car. So second yellow flag of the day is out on lap 22. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, man. Okay. Let's get a couple more peeks at this, huh? Michael Lanfear right here. Okay, so Woodruff in that number 4 machine, that blue car, might get loose right here off the corner. Oh, not quite, not yet. Where is it? It's coming up, folks. We'll watch it as it happens. So coming out of turn 3 right here, turn 4. Might have went too far here. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. So Lanfear looks like he gets into him on exit. Slows down quite a bit. And then, man, yeah, Kaufman kind of has nowhere to go right there. Punts him just a little bit. Yeah, not good right there. So not a whole lot of damage, though, for these cars. Kaufman actually might have gotten the worst out of it, considering he has that front-end damage. I don't see a lot of Lanfear or Woodruff. Yeah, Woodruff looking pretty decent. Yeah, these cars shouldn't be too bad right now. Maybe some slight right side damage. Okay, yeah, we can see it right there. Left side damage on the 13, so not terrible. Should be able to still maintain a good race right there, but either way, second caution, lap 25. Overall, not too bad so far, but Brandon 6 does lead us. Devin Smucker in P2, Nick Lights third, Joseph Mealy in fourth place, and then Jamie Graham in P5. So we are looking pretty good. Let's see who chooses what lane. A lot of insides, outsides. It's still early in the race, so you never know what we'll see as far as lane choice. I've got a feeling later on in the race we'll definitely see some more inside lane. So far, pretty split. Brandon Bowie in the back of the pack. Might have taken tires right there. Hey, why not? Well, right now, pace car lights will go off here momentarily, and we're going to go back green here on lap 27, thereabouts. Halfway through stage 1. 250 laps here normally is pretty quick, but in a case like this, hey, you know, cautions breed caution. Short track racing, it can definitely be tough, but right now, not a bad race so far. Big implications. We will see how this thing unfolds. So Brandon 6 will be leading us off yet again. Has led every single lap, I do believe, maybe except one. But man, right now, lap 27, we're going to be having a good old damn time right here in Virginia. Man, Martinsville Speedway at night. I'll tell you what, if only my local New Hampshire Motor Speedway could figure out to put up lights, man. Tell you what, night racing is where it's at. But right now, Brandon 6 going to be leading us back off. Lap 28, green flag for the Babyface Fabrication 250. We are back underway. Here we go. Fantastic look right here. You can really see the rotation in these corners. It's no joke. It's a paperclip right here, but P2 is under fire. Nick Lights on the outside lane. Devin Smirker trying to sneak in on the inside. Can't quite get it done, but look at this back here. DJ Honeycutt, Frankie Barroso. DJ is desperate. He needs points today. So far, an immaculate job. Kenny Reel further on back, having some issues. Josh Larson on the outside, making it work right now. So far, very good job. Looking very, very good. All the way around this track. Devin Smirker gets around Nick Lights, so very good job right there. Nick Lights is very, very... Man, he's making it work right now. Nick Lights knows these short tracks. Devin Smirker blows the corner. Comes around. Now, either way, off he goes. It almost looked like he meant to do that, but tell you what, you never know. Joseph Mealy up to P4 right now. Man, fantastic job for him thus far. This is what he needs right there. A solid run for Joseph Mealy. Awesome job. Now here, back in the pack, we're seeing Brandon Bowie back in 21st place. He qualified 5th. Currently 17 spots down, so not sure what that deal is. Maybe he pitted right there and we missed it, but either way, we will find out for sure. Matthew Smith working his way back up after that stage 1 early wreck on lap 4. Currently in P17, so hey, he's moving his way back up. Not too bad right there for him. ABR teammates, Rob Bissong, Jonathan Wright. Back to back right here, P11 and 12. Great run there for them. Matthew Fleming so far, not quite having the run he wants. He's in that championship bracket, 7 points below the cutoff line to get into that championship 4. But man, right now, P9, it's not going to cut it. especially when all the rest of your contenders, for the most part, are in front of you. So he has got to find his way around them some way. But this is the battle I want to watch out for. Lap 36 right now. About 14 laps to go on stage 1, and all these guys who need points, here they are, man. Joseph Mealy in P4. Needs every point he can. Roger Pierce in P5. Just needs to find himself to be in the mix. Doesn't necessarily need to have a great points day, but watch out, though. Pete, turn 4. Cannot afford that right there. Big shakeup. Roger Pierce, but right behind him, Frankie Barroso, DJ Honeycutt yet again fighting here. Those drivers in that lime green banner that you see on their car, those are your championship drivers. We also signify that by the red banners on the left side of your screen on the tower, so you guys can easily see who is who. But man, these guys right here definitely need to sort this out. 10 laps to go on stage 1. Running aboard Roger Pierce right now. What does he do here in these corners? 9 laps to go in stage 1. You can see him really roll these corners. Kind of extends that gear, that third gear here today. They're not really shifting, which is kind of nice. The third gear is that preferred gear right now. In practice, we kind of saw these guys shifting down into second on the long run. So we'll see if we get to that point. Probably won't see that earlier on in this race, but later on, if we have green flag runs, watch out for these guys getting creative in their shifting. Brandon 6 right now, still your leader. About 0.6 of a second in the lead. Nick Lights right there in P2. Nick Lights has a pretty impressive resume on the real life. Nick Lights is a Craftsman Series driver for the NASCAR Craftsman Series. He loves it, has made multiple appearances, so he knows how to get around these short tracks, man. And here he is right here in P2. He's got something for him, I've got a feeling. He's been playing spoiler all season long. Came in part-time, but then ended up being full-time. And I'll tell you what, he's got something for Brandon 6 today. I've got a feeling. But lap 45 right here, this battle, these championship drivers, Roger Pierce, Frankie Barroso, DJ Honeycutt, what do they have for him? So far, great moves. Roger Pierce trying to find his way around that 62 of Jamie Graham. Can he do it? Not yet. That would be some valuable points right there. 1 point could be the difference between getting yourself into that championship 4 or sitting on the couch. Right now, he's trying what he can. Lap 47. Frankie Barroso right behind him. You got to be so careful not to bump these guys and get them loose. Jonathan Wright in the back of the field. Went around on lap 48. Holds his brakes like a gentleman. And comes back around. I saw him get kind of loosey-goosey there on exit turn 4 as we saw that that camera there looking down that straightaway. So Jonathan Wright, no harm, no foul. Got loose right there, but all good. Should be okay. Tire wear definitely an issue here, but right now that will be the end of stage number 1. Again, stages end if a caution comes out within the 5 laps of the scheduled distance. So this is the stage end. Brandon 6 is your stage 1 winner, and right now pitting is ensuing. So a timely caution, because hey, you know what, it was going to end anyway in just a second, so yellow flag was bound to happen. So right now, pitting is underway. This could be huge right there, right here. I feel like you want to get those 4 tires and fuel and get yourself to that next stage. Fuel today is not really a concern. Fuel can go about 70, 80 laps, give or take. But tires, it's a whole different thing right here. Brandon 6 leads them off. Everyone else coming back around. So a lot of points to be given right here. And there he is, Brandon Bowie up at the front. We saw him about 22 laps ago at that second caution. Came down, got those tires, and here he is up front now. So, hey, a smart move potentially. Gets himself, he's always been trying these alternate strategies as of late, so pretty cool to see him do that. So we'll come back, folks. We'll go and thank our sponsors, and then we'll come right back and talk to our Stage 1 winner. Come right back. All right, folks, we are back to the Babyface Fabrication 250 here at Martinsville Speedway, and Brandon 6 has won your first stage. So let's try and bring him in real quick before they go back green. Actually, you know what? I think we're too late. They're starting to double file right now. I think the pace car turns off in just a second. So you know what? We're going to hold off, actually. I don't want to distract these guys too much. Oh, maybe not. Pace car lights are still on. So you know what? Let's go and try and bring him in. We'll call the audible. Hey, Brandon 6, man, it's Steve in the booth. You got me? Hey, man, we're still under yellow here. So, hey, just how's the race feeling? How's the car feeling right now? Obviously, Martinsville's pretty tricky in its own right, but how's it going?
It's going pretty well. I mean, frankly, I didn't have to really battle anyone there, so I'll see here in a couple laps here when we go green and see what I can do here, trying to work my way back to the lead. Clean air up front's key at this track. Basically, it's going to be trying to set yourself up in that final stage to be somewhere in the top, probably 5, to have a shot at it.
Love that, man. Hey, I'll let you get back to it. Good luck, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Alrighty, there he is, Brandon 6 in the number 66, looking pretty good. Stage 1 winner. His teammate, though, Brandon Bowie, is out front. Julio Villalobos has done the same thing, so these guys have stayed out. We'll see what this does for them. Stage 1 in the books. Stage 2 will end at lap 100. Right now, though, Brandon Bowie can lead us back off. We're going green here for the Babyface Fabrication 250. We're back green. Whoa, big wreck right here on a turn 2. That'll bring out our third caution of the day. Excuse me, fourth caution of the day. Man, huge wreck right there on the restart. Richard Woodruff involved again, it would look like. Donnie Honeycutt involved. Man, oh man, I believe Julio potentially. We'll go back and take a look here. Here he is, Richard Woodruff. Oh, Villalobos already around right there and just had nowhere to go. Matt Smith involved, championship contender. Man, unfortunate right there. Josh Larson looks like he sneaks on by. Great job right there for him to hold on to his contender playoff run. Michael Lanphier also sneaks on by. Let's go back a little bit further back. It looks like maybe this happened around Julio Villalobos. Here he is. way outside the groove and just goes around. Yeah, Gassorn has some pretty severe damage right there. Woodruff, Donnie Honeycutt potentially. Not good for these guys right there. Man, tough break. We saw Villalobos restarted P2 and just fell off completely in that 2 or 3 laps right there that we just witnessed. So unfortunately for him, I mean, didn't pit. Car right now pretty well beat up. Not terrible, but definitely took out a couple drivers right there with that accident. So not good either way. 4th caution of the day. Brandon Bowie still leads us as we go. So Jonathan Wright down pit road, Richard Woodruff on pit road as well. So a couple of these guys coming down to service their cars. So we will see how this goes as we continue. But man, right now it's getting dicey on lap 59. We have a long way to go, folks. A little over 200 laps until we finalize this race. Let me know in the chat, folks, who your favorite driver is, who you expect to win in this race. A lot of race still left to go. A couple of favorites are kind of sneaking in. Brandon 6 looking pretty good. Nick Light's looking pretty fast here on the short tracks. Right now we are choosing right here on lap 60. A lot of drivers choosing low. That's the thing here, right? If you see a lot of guys choosing that low line, hey, you know what? Take the outside. You're going to gain spots for free. So far, great job. We're going to see Julio Villalobos coming down off the track right now, back onto the track, excuse me, and then Donnie Honeycutt as well. So far, solid run. We know how Martinsville can be, and unfortunately, big wrecks like that can definitely happen. But Brandon Bowie, pace car lights are off. We're going to go back green here on lap 62. Pace car takes that hard left corner. And here we go. Green flag back in the air for the Babyface Fabrication 250. It's a great jump right there on the inside, but further back. Watch out for these guys. This is the hornet's nest right here. Man, Pierce tries to sneak it in, makes it work. Jamie Graham on the outside. Tight right there. Right behind. Matthew Fleming tries to sneak in too. Trying to get around DJ Honeycutt for these points. So hard to pass here once you go single file. Seeing Kenny. Oh, Nick Light's falling off right here. Wait, what happened here? Turn 4, I believe, got really loose. Unfortunate. Nick right there got really loose on a turn 4, I believe, didn't wreck, but man, might as well have. Lost a lot of spots, currently in 18th place. Not good. Brendan 6 tracking down his teammate, Brandon Bowie. Can he catch his teammate? We're about to find out. This battle, though, Roger Pierce, Frankie Barroso, these guys don't necessarily need to battle each other. They're in pretty good spots. They got good stage points in stage 1. All they got to do is hang on. The ones you got to really worry about, Joseph Mealy, he's in 4th place right now. I believe had stage 4 points. That's huge. And one of the bonus points that these guys don't always consider is a clean race. In this series, hey, a clean driver award, meaning you get 0 incident points in the race. That's an extra 5 bonus points. So that could be huge for a driver trying to get themselves into that championship at Charlotte. But right now, we're seeing Brandon 6 making a move here. Brandon Bowie gives it up for his teammate, Brandon 6. And he is back to the lead. Looking pretty good. Roger Pierce working on Joseph Mealy right here. Trying what he can. Might have a run right here, down low. Gets the edge. Tell you what, that car right there, Roger Pierce, he's got it hooked up. Frankie Barroso gives a little smooch to his teammate. Or not teammate, excuse me. Ex-teammate at one point. But Frankie, man, it's just all about that chrome horn. It's not chrome anymore, but it's pretty close. They sure act like it. Josh Larson, hey, I'll tell you what, this guy, man, started in P20. And he has found himself right now in P11. He avoided that wreck with a lot of his contender playoff drivers, competitors, I guess. And he escaped that unscathed. So a great job for him. If he can find himself a few more points, he's in front of his other foe right there, Kenny Reel. This is good for Josh Larson. He needs to just tick off these positions. Tell you what, the flagship, they are inching closer and closer. Josh Larson, Matthew Fleming, and then right here, Joseph Mealy. Telling you, watch out for these guys right here as we keep going. Further on back, we're seeing a couple of drivers who were involved in earlier wrecks. James Kaufman involved. Julio Villalobos still in the back of the field. Jonathan Wright right now. A lot of these guys holding on. Keep in mind, these guys don't get any fast repairs in this race. So Martinsville, it's not easy by itself, but to not get a fast repair, you really got to be careful to hold on to your car for the remainder of the race. This battle, Joseph Mealy in P5, Frankie Barroso P6. Looking pretty good. Roger Pierce, though, I'll tell you what, he is moving. Oh, maybe too much. On the outside of turn 4. Keeps it going. He wanted way too much right there. He tried to pass Devin Smecker for P3, but loses it out of turn 4. We saw that earlier in the race, too. Didn't hurt him as much. But, man, P7 now for Pierce. Again, Pierce enters this race right here in Martinsville plus 10. So you don't necessarily need to be a hero today. Just finish the race and have a pretty decent points day. It's all you got to do. I know Roger wants that first win of the season, but man, hold on to that puppy. And you're going to find yourself at Charlotte hunting for a championship. A big move right here. Nick Light's getting around Tyler Honeycutt. Nick Light's had that big moment earlier on and finds himself back into the hunt. Man, he was 17th just a second ago, and right now back up to P10, so he is going to fast hot rod today in that 12th machine. That's that flagship power right there. Harpoon design on the side of the car. It all makes sense to me now. Looking very, very good. Brandon 6, though, up front still. Almost a 2-second lead up against his teammate, Brandon Bowie. Let's be honest, how much is Brandon Bowie acting as a roadblock for Devin Smerker right now? Even though, hey, Devin Smerker, Brandon 6, they're already locked into that championship, so points don't matter at this point. Right now for Devin Smerker and Brandon 6, this is basically an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway, right? The rules are made up and points don't matter. That's for those two. Because right now they are locked into Charlotte next week. But hey, still, look at sponsors on the car. Babyface Fabrication on the hood. Trying to get that good TV time right now, and it's working. P3 for him right now. But Charlotte on the mind. Further on back, Joseph Mealy under fire a little bit from Frankie Barroso. Has been for some time now. Frankie just can't quite get around him, but he can take his time. Again, he enters this race in a pretty good spot. Doesn't necessarily need to pass Joseph Mealy, but hey, Any position helps. Matthew Fleming and DJ Honeycutt, these guys need more than what they're doing right now. Matthew Fleming enters this race -7. DJ Honeycutt enters it -11, I do believe. So these guys need a lot more than P8 and P9. So we'll see how this goes for them as we go. But 14 laps remaining in stage 2. Tyler Honeycutt, Kenny Reel, these two drivers right here are trying to fight for themselves to get into that contender for championship. So keep in mind, folks, we have our typical championship playoffs as any, NASCAR league or NASCAR sanctioning body has. As we see a move right here for P2 for Devin Smerker. Great move right there for him. Bowie just gives it up. Like a gentleman, good job for him. But hey, so we have the championship 8 drivers, but we keep in mind we have a sort of a best of the rest playoff bracket for the 8 drivers who didn't make it into the championship playoffs, but found themselves in that 13th through 20th spot. And those guys are fighting for their own, again, like best of the rest championship. And a lot's going on there. And right now, that's where we see Kenny Reel, Tyler Honeycutt, Josh Larson, all those guys right here trying to fight for their way into that championship race. So 2 of those drivers will move on to Charlotte. And then the top 2 drivers out of the 4 eliminated from the championship 8 drivers will also move down into that bracket. So will definitely be an interesting format to see. Next week we'll cover that some more. We'll have our championship 4 drivers and our contender 4 drivers. So something this series has been doing now for the past couple of seasons and always produces some pretty cool narratives. So we'll see how that goes. But man, Brandon 6 putting on a clinic right now. Already tracking down lap traffic. Has a 3-second lead over Devin Smerker on lap 91. So we're getting there. TJ Honeycutt having an issue. Comes down pit road, but not quite. The backstretch right there had a major issue. Hold on to the car, keeps it going. Doesn't lose a lot of spots, but P14 is not great. That's not what you need here. 8 laps to go in stage 2. He needed those points where he was finishing. This could be massive for Matthew Fleming and guys like that who need points. We'll see where that puts him after stage 2, but right now Brandon's 6 to the front. And all these drivers, look at the back of the field here too. Michael Lanphier, Matthew Smith, sneaking his way back on in. These guys are fighting tooth and nail, man, for these spots. Matthew Smith up to 15th place. After that mishap on stage 1. Brandon 6, though, has to fight through all this. How many cars can he put down a lap? Big time right here. It is not easy. Dirty air definitely plays a role, and right now Brandon 6 up front, he hasn't really experienced that dirty air as he mentioned. And right now he's dealing with slower traffic, but also dirty air. So we'll see how that car handles in this situation. Almost forced to drive around these guys in an awkward spot. Up high, down low. They're not going to give it up. Michael Lanphier, he's a hard driver. Jonathan Wright as well, right behind him. These guys are like the Riley Newman of this series, man. They don't want to give it up. But hey, you know what? Props to them. Hard racing all around the track. Frankie Barroso, though, in P4 has made a pretty big recovery. Roger Pierce, we saw him a second ago have that mishap in turn 4. Already up to P5, so fantastic job on lap 98. Brandon 6, though, comes across the line here. For lap 99, we are 1 lap away from stage 2, the conclusion. A much cleaner stage 2 for these drivers. I think everyone's starting to kind of figure it out. And here he goes. Not going to pass his teammate Matthew Smith. Smart move right there for him and that team strategy. But stage 2 is in the books. And Brandon 6 is your stage 2 winner. So a great job right there. Showed some grace to his teammate Matthew Smith. He probably could have passed him, but again, Matt Smith is trying to get into that championship 4 as well. As desperate as it may seem at this point. But saved from going 1 lap down. So a good move right there for Brandon 6 as his teammate. That's why teammates, man, they matter. They matter a lot. But here we go. Pace car lights are on and pitting is underway. Man, this is one of those tracks that you can talk the entire time. They are just action all around this place. I'll tell you what, though, it's better off than being in those cars, man. The cars, these guys are tired. You never get a break in a car like this. And a lot of guys earlier on, before the practice, were talking about that. So we'll see how these guys handle or how they do after the end of this race. But right now, coming down pit road, we'll see. Anybody gonna take tires or take a different strategy, right? Brandon Bowie, we saw him coming earlier, but didn't decide to do that this time. So who gets creative here? Right now, it looks like nobody. Brandon Bowie coming out 3rd place right there. Frankie Barroso comes out through. So far, so good. So Brandon 6 out front again, P1. Looks like nobody up front stayed out. So everybody here is going to be looking pretty smooth. So we're going to go back real quick, folks. We're going to thank our channel sponsors. We'll come right back in a few minutes. All right, folks, big thanks for you guys for sticking around right now. It is the Babyface Fabrication 250, and we are here live from Martinsville Speedway. And man, we're having a good time right here today so far. Lap 105, not quite halfway, but almost. Laps are ticking down pretty quickly right here. So we are 2 wide right now. We're going to go back green here momentarily. Stage 1 and 2 are done. So we're going to have about 150 laps-ish, 145. To go here, potentially under green. So we'll see how this race goes. We had a great green flag run right there, considering as how this is Martinsville. So again, these guys know what they're doing. Tough track still, a lot of guys having some struggles, but overall, keeping it clean. Braking zones look pretty good. A lot of competitiveness. And right now, can't say enough about them, but big thanks to you folks for being here, watching live. Do appreciate you. We're getting closer and closer to 500 subs. I believe last time I checked, we're at 440, so doing very good. Appreciate all you for subscribing for the first time and definitely contributing to our success. So big thanks to you. Right now, though, Brandon 6, Brandon Bowie on the outside lane, looking pretty fast. We're going to start stage number 3. Off we go. Brandon 6 leads us off. We're green. Brandon Six continues to have a commanding lead right now. Nick Lights, oh man, dives it in way too hard. They spins around here in turn 3. Joseph Mealy as well collects himself into DJ Honeycutt. Huge implications here for playoff drivers. Oh no, 6th caution of the day. These restarts are definitely crazy. But that is huge news here for Joseph Mealy. Did not want to see that. Back end pretty well torn up. Front of the car pretty well torn up as well. Let's go back and figure out what happened there, man. Tough break. We saw Nick Lights in pretty rough shape down this whole straightaway, right behind Brandon Bowie. We'll go back and take a look. Look at him already loose right here. Comes down. Yeah, this next lap right here, we'll see it. Bounces off of him. Doesn't get the greatest entry right there. Just loops it around, tries to save it, can't quite do it. Frankie already sees it there in the 48. And unfortunately, nowhere to go for him. Yeah, tough break for Nick Lights right there. And then Joseph Mealy, we see him right there in the middle of your screen. Man, unfortunately, just has nowhere to really go. Unfortunately, collects DJ Honeycutt. Maybe not huge damage. Josh Larson, man, sneaks through again. That's absolutely massive for him. Kenny and Real sneaks through. Tyler Honeycutt, though, right there as well. So we'll watch it back in real time once more, just to give you guys a kind of an understanding of what actually might have happened. But maybe Larson didn't sneak through like we thought he did, but definitely some damage on that 51 machine. Joseph Mealy as well. DJ Honeycutt getting involved. Yeah, some definite damage right there. It's not killer. It's not like, you know, it's not going to end their race, but definitely not going to be what they want. So either way, right now we're choosing on lap 112. No one's out of this race just yet. No one's out of this championship hunt. So we'll see how this goes. But man, tough battle right here. Either way, choose car. Big thanks to Brandon Davis for being our choose car / race control. Has done it all season long with precision. So big thanks to him. It's not an easy role. I'll tell you what, it's a hard role to be in, man. And either way, shout out to him. Shout out to Harpoon Design for that just sick looking car right there. Show me a better choose car, man. You can't do it. Looking pretty good. Lap 113 though, Brandon 6. Leading us still. So lap 113, almost about halfway. A lot of implications here. Brandon 6 leading us still, but Joseph Mealy actually throughout all that maintains his P4, ironically enough, because the funny thing about iRacing is that when you spin out, you basically maintain your spot when the yellow flag comes out. So he maintains his P4, even though he's pretty well dinged up, so not good either way. But watch out, Matthew Fleming's in P5 right here in the 88 machine. So pretty cool for him, rocking that paint scheme of Thomas Meeks, who just had a baby. So shout out to him right there. But Brandon 6 going to be leading us back off. Here we go, lap 115. Great job right here. Matthew Fleming, huge issue right here for Matthew Fleming. And turn 3 did not treat him well in the backstretch. Finds himself having to recover Back to P10, so not massive, but man, that could have been huge. Still not quite having that car underneath him. Tyler sends it on in. Woo! Oh, Roger Pierce, Jamie Graham gonna make contact right there. Not too bad though. Gotta be careful of that. That could have sent out Graham for sure. Either way, though, a solid run. Things starting to cool down just a little bit. These restarts can get pretty hairy. Matthew Fleming continuing to fall down right now in 13th place. Not the biggest fan of these short tracks, but sometimes they are necessary to determine your champion. Lamphere gets a little tight right there, too. The later and later we go into this race, the more these guys seem to not be able to figure out their braking zones. A lot of guys kind of just charging in. That's hard to do. Lamphere in the wall right there out of turn 2. Scott Casorn goes around here. And yellow flag is out. It's that easy. That looked just like what we saw with Matt Smith on lap 4. So a big moment there for Scott Casorn. Unfortunately for him. But not too bad. Not a lot of damage there. Looks pretty clean overall. But that'll bring out our 7th caution of the day. Keep in mind 2 of those were stages, so really it's only our 5th caution for incident. So not too bad overall from Martinsville. Man, you couldn't ask for more at this point. Braden 6 up at the front. Funny story, and being told that Devin Smirker actually had to lead under the last pit stop. I guess he had to run and unlock the door to let his girlfriend in. I'm guessing in the house, in the room. I don't know. But got a funny feeling that Devin's got a couch in his future. Hope it brings a few pillows, man, but we'll see. Hey, you never know. Sim racing, it's one of those things. You never know what can happen between, hey, letting the girl in, a quick pit stop to the bathroom. We've all been there, man. The luxuries of sim racing. Jonathan Wright right now gets his lap back. Gonna get the wave around here. So not too bad for him. A couple of drivers still coming down pit road. Kaufman, Villalobos, and Scott Casorn. Gonna fix some of their car right there, so looking pretty good. That's the unfortunate thing too about these short tracks, right? Is that it's so hard to fix your damage because you come down pit road and you only have maybe 30, 45 seconds to fix some damage, and then you got to go back out because if you don't, you're going to go a lap down. So definitely tough for sure, but pretty fun time. Frankie Rosa, though, has found himself to the front of the field, looking pretty good. Jamie Graham in P4. We've seen Jamie, ever since, I feel like ever since, he's joined forces with Murphy Esports, him and Devin Smirker. Tell you what, he's kind of come alive. He's looking very, very fast. We know him to be fast anyway, but I feel like something kind of clicked with him. And right now, man, he is looking very, very good nowadays. So definitely curious to see how his season unfolds, especially even going into next season, right? Has that asset in Murphy Esports and all those guys over there. So got a feeling we're going to see Jamie Graham on the podium, if not in the winner's circle in the future for sure. But right now we're choosing on lap 126. So far so good. We are past the halfway point right now at Martinsville. So far we're looking pretty snazzy. Lights out of the pace car, lights on the track though. We are under the lights at Martinsville, man. I'll tell you what, this is a great, great time. Always a fun place. Frank Rosso actually going to find himself in P2, so he'll be on the outside lane. And right now, we're going back green here for the Babyface Fabrication 250. Brandon 6 leads us off once more. Green flags in the air. Richard Woodruff right there, a lap down, trying to hopefully get past here smoothly. A lot of guys, though, side by side for a little while here. All the way back. Josh Larson playing ping pong right there with Kenny Reel and Tyler Honeycutt. Got to get those points. You can see these guys. Look at them. Braking zones way different. Oh, Robinson goes around right here. That'll bring another caution out. I believe he actually would have just gotten involved with Matthew Fleming as well. So 8th caution of the day. Fleming, I believe we just saw his back bumper flip off. Could be wrong. Let's take a look. Somebody's got a back bumper on the track right now. It looked like Matthew Fleming's, but we'll go back and take a look. Let's find out what actually happened there with Rob Hissong. So coming down right here, Josh Larson side by side with him. Kind of speed up a bit right here. Comes, oh, just kind of loops it around. Turn 4, just has nowhere to go. Oh, yep, Fleming. Oh, front bumper. Okay, that was wrong. Yeah, so Robinson just kind of a self loop right there. Spins it around in turn 4. That's easy to do, man. You get on throttle too soon, too much wheel input. Very, very easy. Couple of drivers choosing to come down pit road. Brandon Bowie right here. Nick Lights. Rob Hissong still on pit road as well, servicing his car. Josh Larson comes down pit road. Has some damage right there, but trying to find his way back onto that, not lead lap, but back into a better spot as he had earlier in the race. But lap 132, pace car lights are still on. Nobody else coming down pit road, it would appear. So we'll go and thank our sponsors real fast, and we'll come right back. Alrighty, folks, we are back for the Babyface Fabrication 250. Big shout out to them for jumping on board for the race. Appreciate them and all their support. And right now, everyone just chose? I don't know. English, it's hard, man. I don't know. It's lap 134. It's Martinsville. We're under the lights. We have all the excuses. Right now, Brandon 6 leads the field right here. And we are going back green as you know it. Pace car is turning on in. Let's get this thing done. Green flag about to be in the air. We are back under green. And off we go. DJ Honeycutt, big moment right there. Matthew Fleming and Matt Smith, championship contenders, trying to get their way back up to the front. Battling their way. Donnie Honeycutt as well. Everyone here fighting for something. A good finish, a contender playoff Final Four, a championship Final Four. And this is it. The Roger Pierce, though, up front in P2. Man, where did he come from? Watch out for him. Looking very good. GeoForce game ready drivers available. Don't want that right now. Go away. Thanks, NVIDIA. Brandon 6. Hey, live TV, man. You never know. Brandon 6 up front. Roger Pierce up into P2. Tell you what, earlier he had a hot rod, but it got loose a couple times in turn 4. I think right now he's going to just relax and get there, right? He's got the car. He's got the ability. But he only has 110 more laps to get it done. Can he win? But more importantly, can he get himself into that championship 4? It's all about that bigger picture right now for him. Yellow flag in the air once more. Brandon Bowie and Jonathan Wright getting involved to each other. Oh, man. John Wright almost got beached right there. Devin Smirker sneaks on through. Almost arc a break to that situation. So Brandon Bowie and Jonathan Wright. What happened here? So Brandon Bowie right here. Oh, it happened way up front. It would look like DJ Honeycutt. I mean, man, we're like 3 wide right here. Crazy, crazy stuff. Brandon Bowie. Jonathan Wright's in front of him. Let's go fast forward a little bit. So far, nothing. Where did this go down? Let's fast forward just a bit. So Brandon Bowie right here. My live scoring tells me it happens soon. Sometimes it's not easily achievable to track down the actual replay, but at this point we're committed. Yeah, I can't really find it. We'll just skip right to it and see if this actually works. Apologize for that, folks. Let's see what this does for us. So Brandon Bowie sneaks down low right here. Oh, Jonathan Wright just comes down. I don't know if he thought he was maybe clear. Oh, John Wright almost got beached right there. Couldn't almost come off that corner. Try and get one more alternate angle of it if we can. Yeah, this might be a good angle actually here. So Bowie going to come down low. I mean, he kind of sends it, to be fair, but Jonathan Wright, yeah, he takes the apex as if he's not even there. It would almost appear. So pretty tough break. Obviously close racing. It's Martinsville. It's a half-mile track. These things are going to happen. So unfortunately for these two drivers, but overall, not a ton of damage, I think, on these two guys, which is good. Maybe more on JD because of earlier incidents, but man, almost flipped the car. Unreal. Well, tough break for these guys, but might not be too bad here for Brandon Bowie, so we'll see how he deals with that as we move on. But lap 144, just under 100 laps remaining in this race. And again, assuming this race goes green, which is, I mean, I know I'm laughing on the inside, but green flag pit stops will definitely have to happen, but at some point these drivers might have to split this stage in half to get themselves the remainder of the way for fuel, but we'll see how that goes. Either way, lap 145, they can only go about 70, maybe 80 laps if my notes serve me correctly on fuel, so we'll see how that works out for them. So we're getting kind of close to that you know, era, maybe lap 200. you know, 180, give or take 180 to 200 laps will be about that time frame to fuel. So we'll see how that goes here for sure. But right now, pace car light's still on the track. A couple of drivers still in the back though. Real quick, Rubber Hassong, Nick Lights has really not been able, excuse me, to really just fix his race. I mean, he was doing so well earlier on, and unfortunately right now has not been able to kind of capitalize or get back to where he was earlier on. So we'll see him trying to move on. DJ Honeycutt, 16th place, again, not where he needs to be. Matthew Fleming in P12. So a couple of your championship drivers, we will see. But Brandon Sick's going to lead us back off once more on lap 147. We're back green. Two by two they go. Jamie Graham right there on the outside, looking very, very good. Tell you what, Brandon Six has been the constant up front, but a lot of guys seem like they have the ability to get to that front as well. Roger Pierce, Devin Smucker, Jimmy Graham, a lot of these guys doing very, very well earlier on. Josh Larson up to P9. That's huge for him, but he's got a couple of his contender playoff drivers, competitors, right in front of him. Tyler Honeycutt, Kenny Reel. So far, not good news for him, but still a long way to go. Smucker going to put the pressure on Roger Pierce here in just a second. Let's ride on board that Babyface Fabrication machine and see what he can do here. Lets that car roll in the middle. Looking pretty strong right there for Smucker. Little Lucy on the entry. So far, a fantastic job. Kenny Reel, a very good performance here so far. Josh Larson, Matthew Smith. Hey, don't forget about him. Lap 4 caution took him out, and he's in the back of the field right now up to P10. So looking snazzy so far in that 29 Crash Clinic machine. And do not count him out for sure. Jamie Graham in P2. Tell you what, we mentioned it earlier, man, but he has just found himself lately. Looking solid. This battle, though, not quite a battle anymore. Pierce might have found something there. He is out in P3. This is the performance he needs. If he finishes right here, or right around here, he will be in your Championship 4. Roger Pierce has come on lately. He had the Las Vegas he absolutely needed. Won a stage brilliantly by choosing to fuel early. Did a very good job there. Gained his 10-point advantage. And right now, about 94 laps away from finding himself into that Championship 4. Looks very solid. Frankie Barroso doing the same thing right now. Not quite as dominating as of late. Hasn't really quite had the playoffs I feel like he's wanted to have. Not necessarily dominant, not necessarily on the podiums, but either way, has looked very, very good. Las Vegas, though, admittedly, as well as here in Martinsville, are not tracks that he likes. He did not look forward to this round of 8. But that's why you have a great regular season. You get those playoff points, and you accrue them, and that'll get you through. And so far, that is doing it for him. So, lap 158, little less than 100 laps to go to cement himself into that Championship 4 as well. Looking awesome. Couple more updates on your championship drivers. Matthew Smith, again, just hasn't had the playoff points or the stage points today to really get himself into that spot. So, honestly, at this point, needs to win this race. Could still happen, but mathematically just not looking out too hot for him. DJ Honeycutt, probably in the same boat. Didn't really have killer stages. So at this point, we'll probably have to win this race to really make sure that he gets into that championship. Matthew Fleming, the same thing. So right now, your championship Ford looks pretty healthy as far as who might make it, but hey, a lot can happen in 79 laps, so we will see how that goes. But this battle looking pretty hard. Scott Gassorn dives down to Fleming. Might take it right here in turn 2. And yes, he does. Brandon Bowie, there he is right there in P17. Had that run in a second ago with Jonathan Wright. Going to take away P16 from Fleming. He'll find himself back up to the front too, so he's got some work to do, but he is getting there. Teammates right now trying to work together. Devin Smacker and Jamie Graham on lap 163. Man, Roger Pierce is not wasting any time. He just saw the opportunity there. Let's right on board the nose of Roger Pierce. Out front is Jamie Graham. Trying to find a way around him. Can't quite do it just yet, but definitely. Oh, Jamie Graham got real loose right there. Opens the door for Roger Pierce. Going to make an easy move here. Easy pass, potentially. And there he goes. Roger Pierce for P2. Very solid move. Now teammates side by side. Yellow flag in the air. Matthew Smith around again. Championship contender, season 1 champion Matthew Smith goes around in turn 4 once more. Hold on to those brakes, sir. Unfortunately for him again. Second caution for him on lap 167, so we'll see how that looks, but may have to serve a drive-through penalty in regards to that. A lot of the drivers, a lot of the leaders coming down pit road, so this will get them to the end on fuel. Let's go back real quick if we can and try and find that that yellow flag and what actually happened here for Matthew Smith. So here, oh man, just gets it real loose right there out of 4. We'll go back a couple seconds here and see if we can get a better shot. Yeah, just kind of on his own, just whips it around, tries to correct it, but just corrects it too much right there, and around he goes. Man, he was on the recovery trail right there at P10. Looked very, very good. So unfortunately, second caution for him, but 10th caution of the day. A lot of guys coming down pit road. DJ Honeycutt in P1. Donnie Honeycutt P2. So father and son combination right here. This is a great move, I feel like, for DJ Honeycutt. Track position is so key. So what can he do here to cement himself? 2 tires, no tires. Bold move right here for him, but this is what has to happen sometimes. Donnie Honeycutt right there in P2 as well. So Brandon 6, Roger Pierce, Josh Larson in P5. Maybe a 2-tire stop right there for him. So, hey, late cautions, you want that track position. And right now, a lot of strategy being played. So we'll see how this works out for these guys. But man, interesting calls right here for sure. DJ Honeycutt, pace car light still on the track. You know what? Let's go and talk to him real quick. I'm sure he'll like us talking to him. We'll see. He has some damage, but a lot of race still left to go. Let's try and sneak DJ Honeycutt in as they're choosing right now. Where is he? Here he is. Hey, DJ, it's Steve in the booth, man. You got me?
Okay.
Hey, man, looking pretty strong today so far. Right now, choosing to take a different strategy and starting out from that P1. Unfortunately, the car is not pristine right now, but what's your thought here?
Yeah, I got caught up in those incidents, and the 11 ran over me in that last incident that I had. Had to use up an extra set of tires, so I only got one more right sets left. So I figured I might just try to stay out here. So I don't think I can make it on fuel if I pitted there. So hopefully just stretch it out to one more pit stop, be able to make it on gas.
Hey, a smart move, man. Hey, you never know. Track position is key here. We'll let you go, man. Good luck rest of the way.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
There he is. DJ Honeycutt has done just great so far this whole season. And right now, taking kind of a desperation move to stay out front here and maybe sneak his way into the winner's circle. Hey, you never know. I've seen crazier things that could happen in this league, but also racing in general. So DJ's a very fast driver. You never know what can happen here. Short tracks, always a fun time. Lap 172. Gonna go back green here on lap 173. So a little under 75 laps to go in this race. The Babyface Fabrication 250 here at Martinsville. Either way, though, we're going back green. DJ Honeycutt going to be leading us off. A lot of race still left to go. Off we go. Geico restart zone. We're going back green here, folks. A great job. How long can DJ Honeycutt hold off Brandon 6? So far, a great job. Hold on to that bottom line. Couldn't quite do it right there. Brandon will find his entry point right here. Goes down low. DJ gonna succumb to Brandon 6. Either way, a P2 right now. Pretty good, but 3 wide maybe for turn 3. Woo! Roger Pierce, Josh Larson gets slid up there. Oh, no. And then Jamie Graham gets around. Yellow flag in the air once more. Caution flag number 11. Larson might have had a bigger issue there. He was stuck in the wall for quite a bit. Yeah, Larson in the wall right there. Jamie Graham just goes around. There's no other way to say it. Just goes around just like we saw Smith do earlier and Scott Casorn. Unfortunately, right there, that kind of actually saved Larson. Not necessarily track position, but saved him to gain some spots back maybe on this next restart. But heartbreak right there for Jamie Graham, man. He was looking pretty good in this race. Very, very fast car. DJ Honeycutt deciding to come down pit road. Not a bad move. Johnny Honeycutt as well, so come down, fill up that fuel, and get yourself looking pretty good for the remainder of this race. Josh Larson as well comes down pit road. Julio Villalobos, Scott Casorn. All kinds of guys here. So right now, Brandon 6 still up front. That will remain the same. 5 championship drivers in the top 5. So a lot of guys looking pretty good here. Matthew Smith, unfortunately, right now finds himself 2 laps down. So, I mean, barring the miraculous, unfortunately, this might be the end of his championship hope. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, season 1 champion, cannot ever take that away from him. So, awesome job there for him. Right now, folks, we'll go and thank our sponsors real fast, and then we'll come back for the beginning of this next restart. Stick around. All right, we are back at Martinsville for the Babyface Fabrication 250, and right now it is lap 180. We are 70 laps away from the conclusion of this penultimate race for the ASRA Cup Series playoffs. Next week is Charlotte. Today we are going to determine the championship 4 as well as the contender 4. Choose car just came in right now. Pace car lights are still on, so we'll come back around once more, and then we will restart this race. Brandon 6 is your leader. Roger Pierce in P2. Devin Smecker in P3. Nick Lights all the way back up to P4 already after he's having a pretty up and down day. And P5, Tyler Honeycutt. So a lot of different strategies still happening today. 2 tires, no tires, full of fuel. A lot going on right now. So lap 181. We will definitely see how this shapes up. Caution's starting to creep in more and more, so we'll see if these guys can keep the cautions to a minimum. But a lot of racing still to go. Brandon 6 about to lead us back off. Pace car lights are off and in the pits. And here we go, high above Martinsville Speedway. We're going back green here in the Geico restart zone. We're off. Man, Jamie Graham right there gets involved with Matthew Smith again. Jamie just kind of, man, couldn't tell if he hooked him or if Matt Smith just kind of came across his nose. DJ Honeycutt also involved right there too. Man, getting dicey already. 12th caution of the day. Let's go back and take a look. Jamie Graham, yeah, just kind of driving into him, isn't he? It's a tough thing right there. We'll go back and get a better angle because that angle doesn't do it justice, I feel like. Yeah, Jamie Graham right here. Maybe gets loose a little bit on exit. We'll take a look once more, get a slightly better look here. Here we go. This might be the angle right here. So it won't be this corner, but it'll be the next couple of corners that it happens in. Yeah, way outside right there. Yeah, they kind of just connected, right? Unfortunately, that just, it wasn't necessarily Matt Smith coming over the nose of the 62. I think it was more so just the 62 might have gotten loose perhaps, or something along those lines, and man, just goes around DJ Honeycutt as well. Also, right here going around. So bad luck, unfortunately, goes worse for him. Again, as a championship caliber driver, so tough break right here. Jimmy Graham comes down pit road. Man, I'll tell you what, this is kind of the story of his season, right? We talked about Jamie Graham earlier, right? So good, so fast. Definitely started to click nowadays. But man, sometimes these little gremlins pop up. Cautions that surround him and stuff. So definitely tough, right? I mean, a lot of guys are, racing hard, and obviously playoffs are a huge thing, right? But man, right now, tough break for that 62 machine. Again, here at Martinsville. Matthew Smith comes down pit road, involved as well. 2 laps down, probably more at this point. So unfortunately right now, with a little under 60 laps to go, a little over 60 laps, the hopes of Matt Smith and DJ Honeycutt for this championship might be a faint whisper at this point, unfortunately. But either way, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, they have had incredible seasons. DJ, for sure, has had a very good season in his first Cup season here in the ASRA. So overall, a very good job for him. Cannot be disappointed for sure. Contended for wins multiple times. Has the speed, just has to kind of figure out a few more things, I think. And we'll find him for sure in that winner's circle. Up front, though, it has stayed the same. Brandon 6, Roger Pierce, Devin Smecker, Nick Lights, and Joseph Mealy. So Joseph Mealy's having a great race today. He's having the race he's needed to have to get the points, but unfortunately, Roger Pierce and Frankie Barroso have had slightly better races. So we'll see who cements themselves in that final four, but Brandon 6 going to lead us back off on lap 190. We have 60 laps remaining. Smecker dives down low, looking very good right here. What does he have for Roger Pierce? Tyler Honeycutt on the outside of Frankie Barroso. Frankie trying to dive down low too. Brandon Bowie making a comeback a bit here after his contact with John Wright earlier in stage 2. There he is. He's finding himself back up to the front, looking very, very good. Frankie Barroso moves up to P6. Awesome job right here. Smecker gets around Roger Pierce, so that's for P2. Smecker has won the last 2 races at Dover and Vegas. In Vegas, man, that win was a wild one. 4 wide at the line for the last 2 laps, essentially, it felt like. Smecker is absolutely heating up right now, but can he complete the hat trick and get a 3rd win in a row over here? We'll see. Brandon 6 gets loose right there, man, at turn 2. Car handling is all over the place right now, as we see. Tyler Honeycutt, very impressive move right here. Currently in P8. Looking solid today in that Tar Heel blue. Oof, looking good today, man. A lot of guys in the back. Again, not having the race they've wanted to, but not terrible either. I mean, you know, James Coffin unfortunately involved in caution earlier via Lobos as well. Tell you what, these guys are not slow, but Martinsville can hurt pretty bad sometimes, and unfortunately for them, that's kind of the storyline today so far. But up front right now, Josh Larson in the mid-pack, P12 getting real in P11. Josh Larson is a fighter, man. He has been fighting all race long. Has been involved in multiple cautions. Oh, DJ Honeycutt gets around right here in turn 4, loops it. And that'll be our 13th caution of the race. Man, just gets loose right there, unfortunately. We've seen that happen a couple times to these drivers. But we get it right. Frustration sets in. You find yourself in the back of the pack. You need the points. You try and drive. Maybe you try and drive more than your car will let you at the time. And unfortunately, these things happen when you spin out and it kind of just compounds. So unfortunately here for DJ Honeycutt, just a bad race getting worse, unfortunately. But that happens. But like we said earlier, if you look at the overall season for DJ, man, he has had such a good time. So don't let this one race here fool you. He's a contender for sure. Scott Casorna on the pit road right now, getting serviced. Looks like has some damage to that right front, but not too bad. Lap 191 though, or 199, excuse me. It'll be 200 right here. So 50 laps remaining for the Babyface Fabrication 250. Let's keep in mind, this is the second to last race of the season. Next week, here again on Race Day Live, next Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, will be the Battle Beaver Championship finale for the ASRA Cup Series. We have Battle Beaver on as the sponsor, and ironically is the sponsor of that number 66 machine. Looking pretty good, so we'll see them next week. Big thanks to them for coming on board for that championship race. Should be a lot of fun. We have a lot of things to go over, a champion to crown, and man, Charlotte Motor Speedway is just an incredible time. It's a track where everybody knows it, everyone's comfortable there, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be just a fun time to try and figure out who can win that race. Normally, in seasons past, it's typically been the ASRA Cup Series is, you know, like Coke 600, for lack of a better term, right? It's been like the longest race of the year. We kind of had 3 stages and things like that. We're not doing that next week. It'll be just a straight up race. It is going to be slightly longer than a normal race that we have here, so not necessarily an endurance race, but it'll be slightly longer just to add that extra variable. So we'll see how that goes, but should be a lot of fun for sure. And we're going to crown a champion for the championship and for the contender playoffs. Right now we're seeing all these drivers come down and choose their lane. It's getting more and more important here on lap 202. Who can decide who gets what in what lane for sure? I've got a feeling that wasn't our last caution of the day, so we'll see how it goes. Here we go, green flag back in the air. Lap 203, awesome job right here for these guys. This is crunch time. Look at this, Robert Song dies down low. A lot of guys, oh, Gasorin right here, up high. Again, that will be our 14th caution. Just toes that car to the end, and that might be it for him. Let's take a look at it. What happens here? On the outside of DJ Honeycutt. Ooh. Just loops it around, man. That can happen. We've seen that time and time again. Tough break for that, for sure. Well, alrighty. Another caution on lap 205. 45 laps to go. Again, a lot of these guys trying to, trying to just send it, I guess, right? This is how these races sometimes play out. Martinsville is a dirty devil sometimes, but 206, lap 206. We'll come right back, folks, in just a second. We're going to go and thank some sponsors. We'll come right back. Alrighty, folks, we are back for the Babyface Fabrication 250. Right now, a lot of these guys starting to notice. Brandon 6 kind of started that trend, and then a couple more guys continued. Look at them. They're kind of driving under these pace laps out of the typical race line. We saw them. Look at this. Nick Light's down low right now as well. They're doing this. Now, this is the driver and me talking, because down there hasn't been raced, so it's much cooler down there on the track surface. So I think these guys are taking this time to cool down their tires. You can see the track is gaining that tire grip in the corners, that rubber mark. But right here, these guys are driving down below the racing line to get themselves some cooler tires. Cooler tires means more grip, especially on some older tires like this. You can get yourself some more grip, better line in the corners, and faster speed. So Nick Light's actually coming down pit road right here, so gives up like a top 5 right there to come down pit road with about 40 laps to go. So very interesting call here for sure for him, but hey, new tires might be the call, so we'll see. But lap 209, pace car lights are off, so we are going to go back green here momentarily. Brandon 6 is your leader. Roger Pierce, he's still right there, man. He wants to get this win. He wants to get into that championship 4 first. But man, if he can get this win, that'd be huge. Here we go. Geico restart zone. Brandon 6 leads us back under green. Awesome job so far. Still up front, Brandon 6. 39 laps to go here. Roger Pierce holding on to P2. Devin Smucker in third. Frankie, oh, hard hit right there. Joseph Mealy also involved too. This is not what they want right here. Late in this race. Frankie just unfortunately loses it right there. And Matthew Fleming might get him right here on entry. Joseph Mealy also involved. Frankie might have some damage there on that right front tire, but might not be enough to really make a huge difference. Has a pretty decent recovery here. Mealy back into the wall pretty hard. Frankie gonna get that spot again. Barroso right there at that 48. Goes back around. Looking good right now, back to normal. Josh Larson, the P6, man, where did he come from? Looking strong. Tyler Honeycutt, though, he's on the same strategy as Josh Larson. That track position is so key, especially after all the wrecks that Larson's been involved in. It's a miracle to see him up in that top 6. Very good, though. This could be what it takes to get him into that contender 4. Tyler Honeycutt right there looking pretty good, too, so it's a close battle. Up front, though, Brandon 6, Roger Pierce in P2, trying to make his way back up to the front. Devin Smirker in P3. DJ Honeycutt already back up to P11. What a recovery so far. Trying to get his way back up to the front. Needs those points. Very solid job for all these guys. Devin Smirker is catching up to Roger Pierce a little bit. Frankie Barroso trying to catch Josh Larson. Not quite there just yet. Josh Larson, though, Tyler Honeycutt in front of him. That's not good news. He needs to get around Tyler for those points. Big wreck right here, I believe. Look at this. Oh, my word. Michael Lanphier. Jamie Graham, Nick Lights. All kinds of drivers involved in this one. Woo! Huge wreck on the front stretch. takes out multiple guys. Jamie Graham giving Nick Lights a little "how you doing?" Doesn't look too happy about that one. Show some more displeasure. Can't be doing that. But Martinsville short track racing tempers are starting to flare on lap 221. This race is very, very close to being over. Let's go back real quick and take a look at what happened there. Seemed like a lot, so let's go back and take a look. Michael Lamphere. Oh, man. Yeah, Lights looks like he might have just kind of sent... Oh, Lights, what are we doing? His song, Woodruff, kind of sneaks through. Great job there. Kaufman involved as well on the inside. See if we can move back a little bit and kind of paint the picture here and see what actually happens. So these three, so Jamie Graham, okay, gives him a little love bump right there. Turns down low. All right. And then look at this. Nick gives it right back to him. And then again, and then, oh man. Yeah, Nick didn't like that bump. That short track tempers. That's what it comes down to. Brandon 6. What is Brandon Davis doing? Hold on now. Choose car. He's wilding, man. Holy. What are we doing? Brandon Davis having some fun. Yeah, we talked about it. Look at this. Brandon 6 comes down. Look at this line right here. This is unused. This is all where the marbles are, the cooler temps. Cooling down those tires. That's where it is. That's where it's at right there. But this is a tough break. If you're Roger Pierce, I wonder at some point, the low line's not working, right? So what do you do? Once the choose car comes around, do you take the inside lane? He doesn't. Still chooses the outside, so he still finds value in the outside lane still. I just wonder at some point, do you take that low line, get the jump with Brandon 6, and then you'll be in P2 anyway, but you never know. This is why I'm not a crew chief. But lap 225, 25 laps remaining. This is going to fly by, assuming we have green flag racing, but everyone can go the rest of the way on the green, on tires and on fuel, so no more worries there. But this top four, who's going to win this race? Brandon 6 has looked great all race long. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 25 laps to go. Frankie Barroso kind of sends it on the outside. Can't quite make it happen right there. Josh Larson finds himself in front of Tyler Honeycutt, and oh, he gets spun by Tyler. And then more chaos back here. It's a deja vu. Kaufman, Jamie Graham, Lanphier. We just saw this a second ago in turn 4, but man, right here, that is unfortunate for Josh Larson. He was in front of the competitors he had to get himself into that championship for the contender bracket. But man, that has got to be frustrating. These guys, hey, listen, short track racing, 25 laps to go. Nobody is holding back. And unfortunately, 16th caution of the race. Not too surprised by that number. But, man, a lot of guys got to hold on to it. Need to have that discipline, right? Either way, though, 23 laps to go. By the time we go back green, maybe 20 laps to go, give or take. So we'll see how this race continues to unfold. But this is why these guys up at the front chose to do what they did, right? They stayed up front, took the tires. This is one of those races, and I swear by it, stay up front no matter what the cost is, right? Because you're going to get these races that at the end of the race, it's going to be caution, 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 caution. Unfortunately, Martinsville is just It's the nature of the beast, right? And you want to stay up front as much as possible. And when you do that, you put yourself in a position where you're gonna do just fine. Excuse me. So Brandon 6 obviously looking very strong all season long. He'll be fighting for a championship next week at Charlotte. Today again is just for the trophy. Roger Pearson P2. I know Roger wants this win, but hey, at the end of the day, to get yourself into that championship 4 is a great thing. So, and then once that race happens, anything can happen at Charlotte, right? So this is big for him. He wants this win, but you cannot sacrifice that championship. So we'll see what happens there. Devin Smerker, again, very solid P3. A great run so far. Not the fastest car on the track, but definitely a contender for sure. There it is. Roger Pierce goes down low. I think that's the move, because you're gonna follow Brandon 6 into on the restart anyway. You'll have the down low. You might get closer to him on the restart. I think that's a pretty smart move there for Pierce. I think that's the play. I think right now, late in this race, you want to be down low. Absolutely. So we'll see how that works out right now. Kenny Reel making an appearance in P4. This is the thing, right? A lot of these guys choose the down low, and then guess what? You get to just pick the up high lane, and hey, if you sneak down low, then you're in the money. So great job there for him. A lot of guys finding themselves up to the front late. What will that mean here? 20 laps to go. Brandon 6 will lead us back off the Geico restart zone. We are back under green. Devin Smerker right there in P3. Roger Pierce, hey, look at that. That worked. P2 still made it happen. And now you're closer to Brandon 6. If you're Roger Pierce, this is how you get that win. Never know what can happen here. Tyler Honeycutt all the way up. Donnie Honeycutt. A lot of these guys back in the field, still too wide. This is where, oh man. Kaufman again. Villalobos, I believe. No, Lamphere. And caution once more. This, folks, is unfortunately Martinsville. Cautions breed cautions. And, yeah, a lot of it comes down to, hey, the back of the field, they have zero patience. They want to get to the front. And keep in mind, too, a lot of these guys in the back of the field, no offense to them, they're not going for points necessarily for a championship or for, like a playoff bracket. They're just trying to get the best finish they can. And, man, caution after caution. It's not fun to watch. I understand that. But, hey, you know what? Short track racing, man, it's it can be a bruiser for sure. Nonetheless, we are 15 laps to go here for the Babyface 250. Brandon 6, Roger Pierce, Devin Smerker, and Frankie Barroso, followed by Brandon Bowie for your top 5. A lot of racing still to go, but I think this is the key, right? And here's the thing, too. I mean, Brandon 6 has the, and Devin Smerker, so P1 and 3 right now. They have their entry into that championship next week at Charlotte. Frankie Barroso, if he finishes right here, he's in as well. He's in P4 right now. He's had decent stage finishes. For all intents and purposes, he's in for the championship 4 based on points, barring some kind of absolute catastrophe in this last 14 laps. But assuming he finishes right here or pretty close to right here, he's in. But man, I mean, if you're a Roger Pierce, right? I mean, what do you do? It's tough because the people around you are basically locked in if you're, you know, six and Smecker. But if you're Pierce, I mean, you know, what kind of driver is Pierce, right? Hey, 2 laps to go, 1 lap to go. You know, if you're close enough to Brandon 6, I mean, man, do you send it? You know, like, do you go do you go for it? Do you go for that win? You know, do you go for the bump and run? What do you do? You know, right now, what's more important to Roger Pierce? Is it making the championship 4, or is it, you know, getting a win? So we will definitely see if he can obviously get the win without you know, ticking anybody off. Hey, you know what? That might be the best scenario, but Roger Pierce definitely in an interesting scenario right here to see what he can do. But Brandon 6, Devin Smecker, again, already locked in, looking very good. Frankie Barroso, I think right here, folks, again, barring catastrophe, and mathematically, these top 4 right now would be your final 4, championship 4, next week at Charlotte. So, poetic as they say, Frankie Barroso going to choose down low as well. So, a lot of guys choosing low. Kenny Real choosing down low. But look at this. Tyler Honeycutt will move in the outside lane, and he'll find himself gaining some spots for free. Same thing right there with Tyler Honeycutt. We said it earlier. Hey, choose the inside lane. All these guys choose the inside lane, but be that one guy who chooses the outside lane, and you're going to find yourself gaining a lot of spots. So Tyler Honeycutt, just by doing that, finds himself in P4 as they line up. So a really good job there for him. Tyler Honeycutt, DJ Honeycutt, P6 right here. Where'd he come from, man? He has had just an unlucky race all race long. Tell you what, a lot can happen in 10 laps, and we're about to find out what can actually happen. Brandon 6 going to lead us back off. 10 laps to go in the Babyface Fabrication 250. We are back green right now. Roger Pierce did not have the the restart he wanted. Devin Smirker gets down low. Tyler Honeycutt on the outside lane. Oh, Tyler bounces to Frankie Barroso, buoying Frankie. Frankie locks it up, keeps it going, maybe not, stops it. And that'll be it for Frankie. Oh no. Frankie Barroso bounces off the side of Tyler Honeycutt. 8 laps to go. That's just close racing right there. And Frankie, we just said it a second ago, man, barring catastrophe, he was looking pretty good. He was +7 entering this race. And stage-wise, he's done better than DJ and Matthew Fleming and all those guys who needed more points. But unfortunately, this right there, he finds himself in P15. This is really bad news for Frankie. Might come down pit road here, get those 4 tires and full of fuel and fix some damage momentarily if he has the ability to. But while he does that, let's go back and take a look. Yeah, it comes out of turn 3 and 4 here. Just kind of, Tyler, I think, might have gotten loose. Yeah, he does. He loses it just a little bit. Then Frankie and him collide. Frankie just can't hold on to it. And that essentially just sends Frankie around. So really tough break for one of your championship contenders. That's not necessarily the end, the end for him. He'll have to definitely make his way up through the field just a little bit more. Again, we don't have the actual live point standing, so we can't quite tell you where he stands at this moment, but either way, tough break for him. Michael Lamphere comes down pit road. Brandon Davis waiting on that 2 lap to go signal to go ahead and pull out for these drivers. But man, if you're Frankie Barroso, what do you do here? You took the 4 tires. You'll have the grip. But with 6 laps to go, you got to pass so many cars. to get back to where you were, or at least close to where you were. And with guys right now who, I mean, DJ Honeycutt in P4, just incredible comeback story right here, rebound after all that he's gone through today. That's huge. Then Matthew Fleming right here in P7. Didn't get the stage points though, so he might not be in the best positioning, but either way. Joseph Mealy right here back in P9, so Frankie, just like that, finds his competitors in front of him who are trying to go for that championship 4 positioning. It's a tough break, but Frankie definitely did not want to see this. Pace car lights off right now. We're going to have 4 laps to go right here, but really it's 3 laps to go once we hit the line. At this point, if you're Frankie Barroso, you have to hope the math just works in your favor. But either way, Brandon 6. Roger Pierce did choose the outside lane this time, so we'll see how that works out for him. But this is going to be it, folks. We do have 3 green-white checkered flag attempts. So if we get 1 more yellow, we will go into our first green-white checkered attempt. But right now, Brandon 6 going to lead us off with 3 laps to go here. Green flag in the air. How will this race end? Who will find themselves in that championship 4? The race stays green. Big mess back here. Villalobos, Donnie Honeycutt. I don't know how this thing's green, but it is. Brandon 6 still underway. P2, Smirker, and Pearson 3rd. Frankie Barroso all the way up to P10, already got through that mess. I don't know how, but Brandon 6, as he always does, takes that white flag, sponsored by Sim Motion, and will come around turn 2. I'll tell you what, Devin Smirker might have won those last 2 races, but Brandon 6 finds himself right where he needs to be, entering Charlotte next week, and Brandon 6 will win the Babyface Fabrication 250. Devin Smirker in P2, Roger Pierce in P3. Great job, DJ Honeycutt. Incredible comeback for him for P4. We talked about him earlier. This guy just knows how to rebound and knows how to get to the finish when he needs to be. Incredible run. Kenny Reel, 5th place. Brandon Bowie, P6. Matthew Fleming, 7th. Rob Assong, P8. Joseph Mealy, P9. And then Frankie Barroso, P10. So we'll see how that math works out for him. But right now, Brandon 6 is your winner. Alrighty, folks, we're going to let him burn him down real quick, but awesome job by Brandon 6 for winning this race at Martinsville. Always a fun time here in Martinsville, man. We're going to go back real quick, thank our channel sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk to our top 3. Come right back. Alrighty, we are at the conclusion of the Babyface 250. And right now, we're going to bring in Roger Pierce, who is your third place finisher. Let's bring him in here real quick. Here he is. Here he is, Roger Pierce in the number 27, looking very good today. Finishing P3, looked great all race long. And my friend, if my math serves me correctly, you have made the championship 4. So how do you feel, dude?
Honestly, a little shocked. This is not my best track. So the fact that I had speed here was kind of a shock to me, but I'm just glad it's over. Just glad it's over.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Martinsville, again, always serves to be, fun, but also stressful and whatnot. And we saw a pretty typical Martinsville race today. A lot of cautions, a lot of mistakes and braking zone differences. But how'd it feel for you in that car?
Yeah, I ran a different line than most from what we got out of it. I ran a little higher up in both corners. And if I touched the bottom, it made the right rear want to snap on me. So as you saw that a few times, it got loose, but we recovered it and kind of just kept going. So as long as I stayed in the line that I was happy with, I didn't have any issue. But the track was very interesting. I mean, it adapted from the bottom to, like I said, running the middle line. So you could do a lot of different things with the lines. It's kind of just where you were comfortable.
Hey, awesome job, man. Hey, looking forward to Charlotte next week. Again, we'll confirm the championship 4 drivers a little later on, but again, math-wise, it's pretty obvious. So awesome job, man. Congrats again. And hey, we'll see you next week at Charlotte. But first of all, give us a shout-outs for any sponsors and whatnot, and we'll let you go.
Yeah, first shout-out to my team, Brantley, Mark, Daryl. Daryl couldn't race with us tonight. He had a family emergency, so glad everything got sorted with that. But thanks, Brantley, for keeping me calm tonight for sure. He was definitely in my ear, helping me out. Want to thank Extreme Sim Racing, Harpoon Design. Go check out Harpoon Design on Trading Paints. You'll see he's up there with the #1 Trading Paints personnel, I want to say. Harpoon Design Racing, Chrome Gooses, Babs Body Shop, MDI TV, and you guys. Thanks for putting on a great broadcast.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome job. We'll catch you next week, dude. Go have fun.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, there he is, your third place finisher, Roger Pearson. Again, mathematically, he's in. So great job for him to get himself into that championship 4. Brandon 6, Devin Smirker, obviously going to be moving themselves into them as well, since they've already locked themselves in on wins and for points. That 4th place spot, that's going to be tight with Frankie Rosso having that late race issue. We'll see how that works later on post-race, but we're going to bring in P2 right now, Devin Smecker. Let's get him on down here. Here he is, Devin Smecker, with that on board the Babyface Fabrication car, looking pretty good, that number 26. Hey man, P2 today looked pretty solid overall. Not the third place, or not the third win, not the hat trick, but still a fantastic job, man. How'd the race go for you?
Yeah, Steve, it was a good day. We did what we wanted to do. We ran all the laps. We were competitive. Nobody really had anything for Brandon 6. At least on the long run. I felt like I could stay with him for about 10 laps, but that was about it. So I'm glad it didn't have to come down to any Martinsville shenanigans there on the restart. I would have been okay with giving him a little bump, but I wouldn't have wrecked the guy. So I'm glad that it was a clean finish. We'll take second any day of the week, except next week. We won't take it then. But I got to thank everybody involved on this number 26 Murphy Esports Ford Mustang. I'd like to thank Josh at Babyface Fabrication coming on board again one more time, and also being the entitlement sponsor of the race. I would have loved to have gotten the win, but I feel like we represented well. Weren't involved in any incidents, didn't spin out, no speeding penalties. It's just a really, really solid day. So we're gonna go chase the championship next week with all of our partners, and we'll see what happens. But I'm very happy with how tonight went.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome job. You've already labeled a lot of sponsors, but go ahead real quick and rattle them off for all the fans at home, and we'll catch you next week, man.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you, Babyface, again for coming on board and sponsoring the race. The All Things Go podcast. Lot of quality partners on board. Hosky, Cardano. Gosh, Iagon last week was on board for the win. That was awesome. Thank you to Discoin. Thank you for Ken Adams, Q, for coming on board earlier this year at Michigan. We couldn't have done it without these guys, and it all comes down to next week, and most of them will be on the car in some form or fashion. Hopefully, we'll take it to glory.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome job again. We'll catch you next week for the championship. And hey, good luck, man. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Steve.
Alrighty, there he is. Devin Smacker, awesome job again. Right now, though, we're going to bring in our number 1 driver, Brandon 6. Comes away with the big win. We talked to him earlier on, man, but he was looking very fast. Here he is, Brandon 6, winner of everything today. Pole, the 2 stages, and then the win. So, had the perfect game, so to speak, and man, looking pretty good. So, how'd the track go for you? And obviously, you're locked into that championship 4 next week at Charlotte, so a lot on your mind today. But hey, looking for trophies, and got it. But how'd the car feel, man? Congrats.
Yeah, it felt very good for me. I was able to luckily stay towards like the top 5 of the pack and try and keep the car clean most of the race. And like I said, track position was kind of king. Staying out front allowed me to dictate the pace of the race, and I felt like I had more of a long run car, more than anything. So I was kind of hoping for long green flag runs, but still had the short run pace to hold off Devin there and Pierce, and I think Bowie I know was up there at one point, and a whole bunch of those guys. It was a lot of fun tonight. Kind of wish it stayed a little bit more clean. Martinsville is a fun track when it stays green, but it is what it is. It's Martinsville. It's freaking chaos at the end. So.
It sure is, man. But hey, awesome job again. Next week, the Battle Beaver Championship finale, and you've got Battle Beaver on the hood, so might be a match made in heaven for sure. But hey, looking forward to Charlotte. What's it going to take, man, to win that championship?
Honestly, what I've done the last 2 seasons, and unfortunately, come up just a tad short, and hopefully it's a little different this season. I feel like I've shown the speed all year long. Just gotta put it together for one more race. Unfortunately, Charlotte's not one of my best tracks, but I've already put a ton of laps into it, and I feel like I've been pretty good there so far with the laps I put in. So I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir. Awesome job, man. Hey, give us a shout out to your sponsors, and we'll see you next week, man.
Yeah, I got to thank Battle Beaver, Bowie Esports, obviously Frankie, Bowie, everybody on that team. I know Frankie and I have been working very closely this week because I know he struggles with Martinsville, and I think he got enough points here to get himself in the Final Four, so hopefully we get 2 of us in there and go race for a championship. But and then thank you, Steve, for putting this league and the broadcast and everything you do. Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, great job again. We'll see you next week. Go celebrate, dude.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Alrighty, there he is. Brandon 6 with another win on the day, and very, very dominant at least as well. So back-to-back races where we've seen both winners win everything, essentially, pole, stages, and the race overall win. So a great job. A typical, I guess, how do you say it? A typical Martinsville race, per se. We saw a lot going on, obviously, as far as wrecks and just all kinds of antics, right? Those things are going to happen at a track like this. A 0.5 mile track, half a mile, and short track racing, tight conditions. Martinsville always puts on good racing, but also stressful and hot temps. So right now, that is the Babyface Fabrication 250. Right now, we're high above Martinsville Speedway, so an overall great race. We do appreciate everybody coming on board for the league, as well as all you folks at home watching live on race day. We appreciate all the likes and all the subscriptions that you guys offer us, so big thanks for all of you for the support. So next Tuesday will be our Battle Beaver Championship finale at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll have those 4 championship drivers vying for that coveted ASRA Cup Series championship. So will we see a brand new champion? Most likely. It looks like that'll be the case, so going to be a very cool time there. So folks join us next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then after that, we're going to be chilling and hanging out for Christmas and New Year's. And then we'll come back and see you guys in the new year of 2024. So big shout out to all you guys, and shout out to everybody who puts on this race and the broadcast sponsor. So big thanks to you folks. That's going to be it for me and Race Day Live. We'll see you next Tuesday for the championship. Have a good night.